Hello, this is Father Larry Young. I'm standing in the living room of our rectory here at St. Mary of the Mills in Laurel, Maryland. And for the year of St. Joseph here in 2021, we're doing something special at our parish. We have 44 days of prayer to St. Joseph during his feast days of March 19th, and then May 1st is the feast of St. Joseph the Worker. So anyway, we also promised the other priest here and I, Father Christian, we want to provide some meditations on a weekly basis during this 6 weeks of prayer to just honor St. Joseph and reflect more deeply upon him and his role in salvation history. So I want to start with this beautiful image in the living room here at the rectory. Is the flight into Egypt. It's a favorite of mine that I've given to families in the past because I want to show you a bigger print of it. So wait for that. I'm going to go ahead and put it up on the screen. All right, now what I want you to think about is first of all, examine your own feelings. What does this image induce in you? What does it provoke, prompt, solicit from you? What does it make you think of? Does it make you feel serene and peaceful and tranquil? There's something beautiful here about this pastoral scene. So that's maybe the first reaction we might have to it, but when we consider the context of this painting, the flight into Egypt in history, what is happening in this image is something nightmarish. It's a horrible thing that Herod is about to commit this heinous atrocity on the innocents in Bethlehem, and these children are going to be slaughtered. So behind this image is splattered with the blood of the innocent. Sorry to mess this image up for you, but we can't sentimentalize these things. This happens, this feast is celebrated right after Christmas, the Feast of the Holy Innocents. So look, this is an invasion of heaven into earth. The man from heaven is coming down here. The Son of God, who is from above, is coming into this world, and it represents really an invasion into hostile territory. And there's an adversary that we have down here who wants to block, impede, throw a wedge in between God and creation, the Diabolos, the Diabolane, the one who throws apart, okay? Satan, the adversary, is trying to stop God's plan of salvation, but he can't stop it. God just does an end run around him and outflanks him, outmaneuvers him every single time. St. Joseph is marvelous in this image because you just see this stable, solid, steady individual in the background. Hey, he's a human being like the rest of us. I'm sure he had plans for his life and was preparing, for what he imagined his life was going to be like. And it didn't turn out like he thought. He met with tremendous adversity, but he rolled with it. There's a bumper sticker I have in my garage, because where I work on cars, you meet with a lot of adversity when you work on cars. Something always goes wrong. And you have to fight your way through problems, solve problems, bloody your knuckles and deal with it, work the problem. That's what St. Joseph is doing here right now, working the problem. Okay, he's dealing with adversity. This bumper sticker, in my garage, I saw it on somebody else's car in a former parish, and they gave me one because I was so struck by it. It said, "Adversity introduces a person to themselves." St. Joseph is getting a major curveball. This isn't just a curveball, it's a knuckleball, a screwball all tied together. I mean, this is really, really a challenge to hit this ball. He has to stay in there, keep his head down, wait for it, and he's dealing and coping with adversity. So I love this image because it conveys tremendous drama when you look at it and think about it. That day you walk out of the church with your white dress and your tuxedo, and they're throwing rice and everything so nicey nice. You don't envision your child swallowing a pencil and you have to take them to the emergency room. You don't envision all the different things that are going to come up when they stuff cans of shoe polish down the commode and flush it, and then you have to take the whole thing off the floor. All right, I'm just thinking of, these are incidents that occurred in my family, but just little silly examples. We just don't know what's around the bend. We have to walk this journey with faith, in the night of faith, like Abraham, the great father of faith. So all of us must cope with adversity and deal with it, but there's tremendous hope. To me, this is an incredible image of hope. The constancy of God's providential design, that he gives an avenue of escape, and they're able to work the problem, find their way to a solution. He goes down there after marrying, being betrothed to this young lady who he finds out is pregnant. Okay, and then he's visited by an angel. And then gives birth to this child in Bethlehem. Okay, has to take his pregnant wife down there. All right, because this unexpected census arises. It's not part of the plan. Okay, I'm sure he had this nice plan as a tradesman growing. You know, he's going to prepare this special house for his bride, and whatever his plans were, God had a different plan. You want to laugh? Tell God your plans. We've all heard that. But St. Joseph's docile, and he works with it. He goes down there. Okay, there's no room for him at the inn. He figures it out, works the problem. They find something that's going to work, and that was all God's design. And we celebrate it every Christmas, this manger scene. That was part of the divine plan, that the Son of God should come into this world and be laid in a manger, a feeding trough. So unbeknownst to Joseph, he's just rolling with the punches, okay? And then what happens? These wise men show up. He doesn't understand all this, and he's warned in a dream to get the heck out of there. And he's fleeing into Egypt. I'm sure he's got his tools, packed somewhere. And he's going down there into a foreign land to try to figure this thing out. Find some employment, and care for the mother and her child. Okay, so all of this is happening to him. He is in the night of faith in this image. He doesn't know what's ahead of him. He's going down there with confidence, though, that God's going to provide for he and his family. And he makes it. He fights his way through and deals with it. He's warned. He comes back, and then he's afraid to go to Bethlehem. This Archelaus there is not to be trusted, so he goes to Nazareth. But that was all part of God's plan, that the child become a Nazarene, as the prophets foretold, a root. This place, Nazareth, Netzer, the Hebrew word for shoot, and harkens back to Isaiah chapter 11, verses 1 and following, the shoot that will spring from the stump of Jesse. Okay, how in divine choreography that Joseph settling the family, his little family in Nazareth, was all part of divine choreography. The child will be called a Nazarene. The sect of the Nazarenes was a way Christianity was referred to in the early church. Just read Acts 24:5. And that's what we were being called because we were followers of the Jesus of Nazareth. That was part of God's plan. All right, so what we want to notice here, and I guess the core idea I want to communicate to you in this talk about Joseph, is his docility to the will of God. He works the problem. He copes with adversity, and it's a good topic to begin these series of reflections on the life of St. Joseph, to just think about adversity. Because we're all dealing with it in an especially adverse year. But look at St. Joseph and find great confidence that there's a way through. And we can be confident God is going to take care of us. So all of us can imitate this steady, stable, solid individual, St. Joseph, the great man of faith. God bless you.